So in this lecture we will take the revision of the signals and system. So what is signal? Basically there are two types of the signal, CT and DT signals. Basically there are different types of signal: analog, digital, periodic or periodic power energy signal. But before that there are two, that is CT and DT. CT means the continuous time, DT is the discrete time signal. So these CT and DT signals are further classified as even and odd, periodic, non-periodic, deterministic, non-deterministic, and energy and power signal. So these signals can be represented in MATLAB and Simulink. So what is signal? In electrical engineering, the fundamental quantity of representing some information is called a signal. It does not matter when the information is, that is analog or digital information. In mathematics, a signal is a function which conveys some information. In fact, any quantity measurable through time over a space or any higher dimension can be taken as a signal. A signal could be of any dimension and it could be of any form. That is, here diagram is shown for The first diagram shows the beta value 14 to 30 hertz, that is await with then next has 18 to 30 hertz, next 4 to 7, and next delta less than 3.5 hertz. So what is analog signal? Analog is a continuous signal for which the time varying features of the signal is representation of some other time varying quantity. A diagram for the analog signal is given, and the digital signal is a signal which represents a sequence of discrete values. A logic signal is a digital signal with only two possible values, that is 0 and 1. A diagram for the digital signal is shown here. Now continuous time signal is it has a continuous amplitude and time. So it is a signal which is defined and represented at any instant of the time, and it is abbreviated as CT signal. It is denoted by x of t. T is the variable which represents the time, and x represent the shape of the signal, so x of t. It is also called as analog signal. Examples of analog or CT signals are sine wave, cosine wave, triangular wave, exponential signal, etc. And the DT signal, it is discrete time signal, is abbreviated as a DT signal. It is also called as digitalized signal. The DT signal has amplitude value only at a discrete instant of time. So it is the signal which is defined and represented only at certain instant of time. So dt signal is denoted by x of n, and n is the variable which is similar to time, and it is used to represent a discrete signal, while x represents the shape of the signal. It is also called as, dt signal is also called as the sequence of samples, and this signal is obtained from CT signal by performing a sampling. The signal, which is discrete in time as well as discrete in amplitude, is called as digital signal. So these signals are classified as, the first type is the periodic signal. The important class of the signal is the class of periodic signal. It is a continuous time signal x of t that has the property xt equal to x of t plus t, where t is greater than 0 for all t. Here example is given, cos of t plus 2 pi is cos t, sin of t plus 2 pi is sin t, and these both are periodic with period 2 pi. For a signal to be periodic, the relationship must hold for all t. So signal is periodic if it repeats after some time period. The time period after which signal repeats is called as fundamental period. The fundamental period of the CT signal is denoted by capital T, and the fundamental period of DT signal is represented by capital N. If the signal does not repeat after some time, then the period after some time period, then it is called as non-periodic signal. A periodic CT signal is shown here. So it is pure sine wave, and it repeat after 2 pi, or it repeat after 2 pi. If signal does not repeat after some time period, then it is called as non-periodic signal or aperiodic signal. So an aperiodic function never repeat, although technically An aperiodic function can be considered like a periodic function with an infinite period. For example, sound signal, noise signal, etc. Periodic signal it is obtained by performing the sampling of CT, that is continuous time sine wave, and this DT signal repeats after n samples, so its fundamental period is n. Next is continuous and discrete signal. So most of the signals in the real world are continuous time as the scale is infinitesimally fine. For example, voltage velocity, so it is denoted by x of t. The time interval may be bounded or finite or infinite. Now the discrete time signal, here some signals are real world and many digital signals are discrete time as they are sampled. For example, pixels, daily stock price, anything that a digital computer processes, and it is denoted by xn, where n is the integer value which varies discretely. Next, sampled continuous signal, xn is equal to x of n k. So here diagram for the continuous time signal and the discrete time signal is shown. Next is the discrete unit impulse and step signals. Now the discrete unit signals is defined as xn is equal to dn. This value is 0 for n not equal to 0, and this value is 1 for n is equal to 0, that is for all other values. So here diagram for this unit impulse signal is shown. The discrete unit step signal is defined as xn is equal to un, which is equal to 0 if n less than 0, and it is equal to 1 if n is greater than equal to 0. So diagram for the unit step signal is also given here. Now the unit impulse is the first difference or the derivative of the step signal. So delta n is equal to un minus u of n minus 1. Similarly, the unit step is the running sum of the unit impulse, that is integral of the unit impulse. Next is the electrical signal, energy and power signal. So energy and it is often useful to characterize signals by measures such as energy and power. For example, the instantaneous power of the resistor is Pt equal to Vt, that is equal to 1 by R V square T. And the total energy expanded over the interval T1, T2. So equation for the total energy and the average energy is given here. So signal is the energy signal if normalized energy of the signal is non-zero and finite, and unit of this is joule, and the signal is a power signal if the normalized power of the signal is non-zero and finite. Notation for this is P, and unit for the power signal is watt. So there are some difference between the power signal and energy signal. The signal having a finite non-zero normalized powers are called as power signal, and the signal having finite non-zero normalized energy are called as energy signals. Generally all periodic signals are power signals, and generally all non-periodic signals are energy signals. So the power signals can exist for infinite time period, and the energy signals exist over a short period of time. The energy of power signal is infinite, and the power of energy signal is 0. So there are some rules which are used to solve the numericals based on energy and power signal. First rule is first check whether the signal is periodic or non-periodic. Second, if the signal is periodic and having infinite duration, then it is power signal. And if the signal is periodic and having finite duration, then it is energy signal. If the signal is non-periodic, then it is called as energy signal. All the sinusoids, that is sine wave and cosine wave, are power signals, and power is given by P is equal to amplitude square divided by 2. So next is the even and odd signals. An even signal is identical to its time reverse signal, that is it can be reflected in the origin and it is equal to the original. So x of minus t is equal to x of t. For example, x of t is equal to cos of t, xt is c. An odd signal is identical to its neglected or time reverse signal, that is it is equal to the negative reflected signal. So x of minus t is minus of x of t. For examples, x of t is sin t, xt is equal to t. So this is important because any signal can be expressed as the sum of odd signals and an even signal. So in the notation x of t, the x represents the shape of the signal or the amplitude of the signal and t represent the time. And minus x denote the amplitude is reversed and minus t denote the time is reversed. So only difference is that in the place of t for dt signal n is used. If due to the inversion of the time amplitude is not reversed, then it is called as even signal. So if due to the inversion of the time amplitude is not inverted, then it is called as even signal. And or if the signal is symmetric about the vertical axis, then it is also called as even signal. Even signal is also called as symmetric signal. If due to the inversion of time the amplitude is inverted, then it is called as odd signal. Odd signal is also called as anti-symmetric signal. So this is time shift signal. A central concept is the signal analysis is the transformation of one signal into another signal, and of particular interest are the signal. A linear equation for this time shift signal transformation is given here. Thank you.